Alright, so here we have the Honda GX340 and GX390 carburetor complete disassembly. Every single piece will be taken out, cleaned, and put back in. Alright, so you have to take out the bolt from the bottom of the bowl. Get the bowl out. As you can see, there's a lot of sediment in there. You got the float. The float is kind of crusty, but the good thing is I have a full rebuild that I got from Amazon. And it includes the float, the jet, the flaps, and a few of the seals. Don't get rid of that float bowl just yet, because you're gonna need the spring from the needle. As you can see, I pushed out the jet. You have to stick the screwdriver through the main entrance and push in through the center down. Mine is nice and clean because I cleaned it off a while ago. But if yours isn't clean, you can use like a little piece of a wire wheel, and that'll usually be enough to open the hole. In the center hole, you can use a small drill bit and a air compressor. Pulling out the idle screw. This isn't necessary, but I'm going to be changing my low idle circuit, so you have to pull it out for that. This part is usually going to be kind of stuck, but you can use a pair of pliers and it will come out with a little bit of persuasion. Hard, but it will come out. This is the fuel shut off. Like I said, we're going to be changing all the seals. So pull that off, clean the inside of it, and change that seal out so it won't leak. Alright, and just like that, we got that seal out. Next thing up, we're gonna get the that plate right there for the accelerator out. You don't have to do this, but my kit included a brand new plate for that and 2 brand new screws, so I went ahead and did it. But if your kit doesn't have that stuff, don't pull it out. Out. And on these bigger engines, these GX340s and GX390s, they have a retainer for that center post. Just pull out the screw, and the retainer allows you to pull out the whole assembly. And here you will see me in a moment try to pull out that clip, and I later realized you don't have to pull any of that stuff off. You can leave that whole part as it is unless it's seized. Don't take it apart because it won't go back together as good as it came from factory. Out here is going to be the choke. flap, and that can usually be pulled out with a pair of pliers. It'll usually come straight out. It's got two little bumps, so it's gonna have a little bit of resistance, but it'll come out. But if you want a better method, just use a screwdriver on the other side with like a hammer or something and gently tap it out of the way. Alright, and this piece right here comes out. Mine was a little seized. Just use a screwdriver or something and pry on a little bit. Don't pry too hard because you'll break it, but give it a little bit of strength and it'll pop out. You're gonna see me try and finish disassembling the fuel cutoff, but the bolt started to strip, and honestly mine wasn't leaking, so I just gave up on that part and left that alone. Alright, and my kit came with a replacement seal for the bowl, so I went ahead and took that off. Mine was nice and flattened out. It was old. And that right there is like the fuel mixture screw. My kit came with a brand new one, and this one has little to no adjustment, so I went ahead and broke it off with the pliers. Keep that spring. You're gonna need that spring for the new mixture screw. And then here you can see me try to clean out the area around it, because after you break off the top it's gonna be rounded out. So I went and I used a hacksaw. I cut a small slit in it. You can see with my toothbrush, cleaning out the metal shavings, and then use a screwdriver and just unscrew it. And that small cut that I made is gonna make no difference in the carburetor, because the area where I cut is in a gasketed surface. Now I took it off camera and I sprayed it down with the carburetor cleaner and brushed it with the toothbrush, and it does clean up. As you can see, there's no more corrosion on the inside. The outside is a little bit dirty, but that's just corrosion that I couldn't get off. I tried, but it wouldn't come off. So now we're gonna reassemble it. And in a moment here you're gonna see the kit that I bought that brings brand new parts. Like I said, this kit was for a GX340 and GX390, so some of the parts are gonna be a little bit oversized for this carburetor, so just use the old parts. First thing you're gonna put back in is the jet, the main jet, or the mixture jet, or something like that. I don't know what the exact name is, but put that part in, and then put this jet in and screw it down. Screw it tight enough, just hand tight. Don't go prying on that because you'll strip it out. Just small, like just till it budges. Alright, there we have my brand new float bowl. Here's the part where I told you to save that spring from the old float bowl, because the kit doesn't include one of those springs. There you go, I pull off the spring, and you're gonna see me stretch it out a little bit because it looked a little bent to me. Don't stretch it out too much, don't deform it, but if it's a little messed up, just give it a little tug. Perfect. And then my kit came with a brand new pin, so I went ahead and put the new pin in. Tested to see if it worked, if it functioned properly and all that stuff, which it did. back in its place, push it down a little bit so when you go to screw in the bowl, it doesn't pinch it off. Here I realized it was looking really dirty inside, so I went and cleaned it off a little bit. It's not going to come out perfect, but it was good enough. Same thing here. Don't tighten it up too much because you're pushing on a rubber seal. You don't want to break it or cut it or any of that. Just snug it up. I got my brand new float bowl seal. Put it back in the groove. Once again, realized it was kind of dirty, so I went and cleaned it off the best I could. Just a simple carb cleaner from Walmart or whatever store you have near you will work, and a toothbrush. I tried brake clean on this, but the brake clean doesn't do as good a job as the carburetor cleaner. I guess the carb cleaner has like special chemicals and stuff to cut that crust. Here I realized the bolt that I had wasn't gonna work because it had it was like a flange style, and the gasket would just sit flat inside of there. Took my old one. It's just the bolt. It doesn't have to be too clean. If you have a replacement gasket, here's where you would put it. I unfortunately didn't have one, so I put in the old one. Tighten this down. And another thing, all these bolts will be 10 millimeters. This is a Japanese engine, so all metric. In this case, I did have a brand new bolt and a brand new washer, so I went ahead and put it in there and tighten it down. Not too hard, you don't want to strip it out, but just snug it up. And as you saw that gasket right there, that gasket actually went with that bolt for the float bolt. That bolt that it had the flange nut on it, you put that rubber O-ring on it and it will work. That does not go on there. And this part actually didn't work on my GX340 engine either, because of the fact that it was a little bit bigger. I guess it's for the 390. So I just went ahead, put my part back, the retainer back on, that gasket thing, and the C-clip. Just testing it out, seeing if I put it in correctly. Finding my bolt that goes on there. It's a Phillips. Tighten that down. Don't over tighten it. Don't strip it. Just until you snug it up. Testing to see if everything still moves freely, and it does. If it's a little tight, just put a little bit of oil on it, some WD-40 or something like that, and it should be good as new. That's a brand new accelerator plate or throttle plate or whatever, and it did come with brand new screws, so I went ahead and installed the new screws. That had like some locking washers is what I had on it. Snug those down, not too hard, don't want to strip it out. Make sure to leave them kind of loose and move the throttle to the fully closed position so the plate will seat correctly in there. Here I loosened mine up so I could correctly align it. choke lever or lever depending on where you're from. And then it's got like a small detent in the plastic. That's what keeps the choke from shutting on you while you're running the engine. This part here, you just push it in, you're gonna feel a small click and it'll be seated. That new part, I guess, was for a GX340, so it was a little bit bigger than my carburetor, so I had to use the old one. I cleaned it off. Like I said, it slides in and it clicks. And it should look like this one. A little bit of light coming in through the side and then a good seal on that other side.